question is about the insurance institutions that do offer bid securities. From what you've explained and up to the end of it, it's just indicated that the bid should be from financial institutions only. How about the insurance part?
Okay. The insurance companies allowed to issue bid bonds are also categorized as financial institutions. So they are covered there. The PPRA usually displays or gazettes the financial institutions allowed to issue bid bonds for public procurement. And the list includes insurance companies. So they are covered. There was another question by Madam here.
Thank you so much. My question is, I think directed to the previous presenter. At the point of withdrawal of your submission, could there be any other person, for example, who has access to your withdrawn submission?
That is a good question. Now, when you are logging into the system, you are getting an OTP on your registered email address and the registered mobile phone number. So unless you have given that phone or email address to someone else, nobody else can log in to your account to either submit or withdraw.
Thank you. The other question, there are certain mandatory documents that are required to do your bid. One of them is a site visit certificate. These mandatory documents sometimes are being misused to control and limit bidders. So does the system have, or does it have a way of actually ensuring that these documents can actually find, or maybe a way of mitigating so that you are able to access site vendor visit certificates without any issue?
So, like the tax compliance?
No, the tax compliance is available, you have it, but there are certain other documents, for example, a pretender site certificate. This is a document that is given to show that you visited site and that it is a mandatory requirement when you're bidding. Now, to control or limit bidders, some bidders are deliberately denied this document so that they are not able to bid. That is a hindrance to e-procurement. So does the system have a way of mitigating against that?
Okay. So for pretender site visit, the date will be there. And you'll also, if the tender requires, then there will be a tab. There will be a tab here for pretender. So you will put your details there, then the procuring entity on their site will indicate you availed yourself. So that will be part of the tender.
Now, let me just ask this one. In the event that, for example, you registered on EGP and you had a feedback that you successfully registered, but when you do a search on those that are registered, your name does not appear, what is the recourse?
So if your name does not appear, it means your profile has not been approved. Remember, our first presenter on supplier registration said once you get an email, there is a part we reached, then you were asked to log in. You remember? So the first part is registration. So you give your name, your contact details, business details, then you are sent an email saying you have successfully registered on EGP. Please log in and complete your profile and submit for approval. So most of us get there. Once you get the number, unasema, I'm in the system now. But the email tells you to log in. It gives you credentials. So you should log in, continue with the other part that said create profile. So work on that, attach your documents, then submit for approval. Once it is approved, now that's when it appears in the list of registered suppliers kwa EGP. So if your company does not appear there, log in, utaona pahali, the landing page itakuonyesha what you need to do.
Maybe to add on what he's saying, Kaimosi University has a help desk, but we have a small caveat. We will help you, but you will bring your own laptop or desktop, because every time I log in, the system shows, and because of conflict of interest, I cannot log in on behalf of my suppliers. Okay? So if you are stranded, we have a help desk here. She just walked out. Is Becky around? She just walked out, and she will be helping, but you come with your own laptop for purposes of conflict of interest.
Any other question? Yes. There's a question there.
Okay, thanks. I believe the system has been done to scale, has been modified to scale. So how can you give the assurance of when the bids are being submitted that the system does not fail or does not crash or does not, considering the fact that there are so many documents that have been uploaded to the system that over time tends to log the system. So what assurances can we get on that?
Well, the system has a limit of the documents you can upload, the size. It should not exceed 20 MBs, but we are sure, so far we have so many tethers. You saw how many tethers in the system? Closed, and we have not had any issue. So we believe it will be the same.
Okay. On the uploading of documents, I wasn't speaking from the one profile of one account. I was speaking from the scale aspect across the country, over like say, a period of say some years down the line, sustainably.
Yes.
But I've understood it.
Yes, and again we have had the IFMI system where you are also uploading documents. So we compared. So the capacity is big enough to hold those documents for several years, even the ones being uploaded.
Okay. And to my other question, on the aspect of the pricing actually, on the part of taxes and that part of taxes, can you do a way in which the system can have standardized tax, the percentage, so that the system picks the amount that you've quoted and it auto-generates the taxes? This is because sometimes you find, yes, we can do the calculations, but we have arithmetical errors on that aspect. Then it leads to some people underquoting, or sometimes the quotes become higher. So can the system do an automation of that part of the taxes? Because some people also don't know the number of taxes they're supposed to pay.
Okay. For the issue with that is that tax varies across industries. For example, supplying stationery will just pay the 16% VAT, isn't it? But when, for example, providing catering services, we'll have to add the tourism levy and the catering levy. Those are also taxes. So because the taxes vary across industries, that is why that part has been left to each supplier, put the applicable taxes to the industry or to the specific tender. However, we have the unit price. So the procuring entity can also see if you have underquoted taxes, they can request for clarification. That happens when you underquote or you overquote. They will request for clarification, and if it is a very big margin, then your tender is taken to have, what do we call it? The abnormally high tenders. If the error is too big, then the tender document says you are unresponsive. So you have to be careful also to put the applicable taxes in your industry the right way.
Maybe in that area of taxes, I saw the procedure maybe when submitting a document after application, and maybe you are requesting for some financial input from the government, from the bank, sorry. I saw the system is giving us an opportunity to submit the document direct to the bank. Can it be also in the same manner being automated such that when it comes to payment or remittance of taxes, somebody can end up remitting by the press of a button, and maybe the taxes can be deducted from somebody's account through the system?
Okay, that's a good question, but this is a procurement system. It's e-government procurement. So what is happening is we are linking it with IFMIS, which is a financial management system for payment purposes. So IFMIS has the withholding tax component. So that's the only tax deduction available. Otherwise, EGP is purely for procurement. Nafika hapo kwa invoice, then it links with the IFMIS. IFMIS now is the payment system.
I have a question, and I think it has been asked by one of my staff. Some tenders are very big tenders, security being one of them, insurance, among others, because of the kind of documents that are required. With a limit of 20 MB, how will suppliers be able to submit those documents that are required to ensure that the tenders are responsive?
Yes, that has been a concern. There are sometimes the documents are, for example, the audited accounts will exceed 20 MBs in most cases, even if you compress. So in that case, we are advising, as the system capacity is being looked into, they are reviewing it. But in the meantime, we are advising you create a link for these cloud systems like Google Drive. So you can store your documents in Google Drive, create a link, then put that link in a Word document, attach that Word document. So in that case, the evaluation committee will be able to access the documents in your Google Drive, those specific documents that you created a link for. And so they will be able to evaluate. So that's a temporary measure that we are advising suppliers to use for now. If the document doesn't upload, create a link for Google Drive, then put that link in a document, attach that document.
Just considering the county government, because they are using IFMIS, with the public universities, most systems that we are using is ERP. How are you going to link these EGP systems in terms of payment with the ERP system?
That is also being worked on. As per the presidential directive, all public procurement will be done through EGP. You will notice even public universities have started using EGP. We saw even Kaimosi University has published their procurement plan. So as the EGP is being linked with IFMIS, we are also looking at ways of linking it with these various ERPs, so that after the procurement process, the payment process goes on in the ERP system. Any other question?
Mine's just a concern about there's this lady who just stepped out of the podium, mentioned about EACC. EACC being in the system of EGP. So my worry is, or my concern is, when did EACC become part and parcel of the tendering process? And remember, my colleague here raised about data protection.
That's a good question. There are various players in the financial management system. EACC has given a mandate of enforcing is the act called ethics in public institutions. So they have to ensure that all the processes follow the law, including procurement processes. They have that mandate legally, including also DCI. In case there is any criminal issue in the tendering process, they have a legal mandate to investigate. So these institutions, because that is their legal mandate, have been given limited access to the system as oversight bodies. They are called oversight bodies. The other institutions are procuring entities. Then we also have suppliers. So oversight bodies, EACC and DCI, have been given that limited access to the system, such that they can be able to, if, for example, there is a report that a tender was not evaluated well, on the year-end, they can see the evaluation report, they can see the tender opening minutes. So they can do a preliminary investigation of the process without even coming to us or to you. So that is to enable them to play their oversight role. But that doesn't mean that they will see everything you submitted. Remember, evaluation report is just a report. It is like minutes of what happened. Opening minutes is also minutes. Now, if they see there is really an issue, they will come to us and ask us questions, or summon you as a supplier. You write a statement the way they usually do. So theirs is just a limited role for oversight. And it is legal. It is allowed by law.
Okay, my concern comes to when I've submitted my application. Can I see the prices for for my competitors, if in case I have failed to win the tender?
Yes, we can look at one of the closed tenders. Once the tender is opened, the tender opening minutes are public. So anybody can see who submitted the tender and the quoted price. So kama wewe ndio ulikuwa lowest na umepewa regret letter, you can ask for a debriefing. Niliangukia wapi? Can even go to live closed tenders. It's in the last tab, I guess. Closed tenders. Open the bids. So we can see tender opening report. I think that had two parts. It is indicated technical. So yes, we can go to that one. That was for conference facilities. You can view. So you can see the suppliers who participated. Like Naivasha Resort, Avian Court, Chabais Hotel, this is in Naivasha. And you can see their bid price. So you can click there. This one quoted 300,000. You can see what the other one quoted. You can close that one. This one quoted 288,000. So you are able to see. So as Mr. Siakama said in the beginning, the system is enhancing transparency. So here kuna kuficha. You will see all the tenders, you will see the opening minutes and what people quoted. So transparency is there. So let me hand over the mic to Mr. Siakama. That was very engaging. Asanteni kwa kuuliza maswali. We learn by asking questions, isn't it? Yes.